Mood Talk, Mood TV. It's your boy
What's the
S1A1,
mood, man? What's the mood?
Dondre Thomas, and you already know Cyrus of the Bay.
What's the mood, man? You know the mood. Today, man. So today we got a topic. The topic is frequency. The topic is frequency. What are the positive and negative effects of frequency? Okay, so first I'd like to ask, before we even get into what are the positive and negative effects of frequency, is what is each of your definitions of frequency? So who'd like to go first?
I'll start off. Frequency is vibration. Vibration is frequency. What does that mean? Everything in this world is not sitting still. On a minute, small level, it's shaking, it's vibrating. And that vibration is a frequency. You can say sound is matter and matter is sound. So the higher the frequency, when you say a high frequency, you're saying it's vibrating very fast, the better it is for you. And the lower the frequency, the slower it vibrates, the less positive it is for you. Okay. That's how I say frequency.
All right, and I just want to get y'all definitions before we get to what are the positives and negative effects. So what is your definition of frequency?
My definition of frequency in a simple way would be energy. Like, if a lot of people know about like feeling a certain way, or your moods are energy, and like Foy was saying, energy is moving at a certain pace, basically. Like, everything has frequency. And when I think of frequency, I think of our energy. Like, it could be in everything else, but when I want to talk about frequency today, I want to talk about like the human frequency. And like, it goes so much deeper than just energy, but I just want to, like, as a basis, just talk about like energy and your emotions and how you feel. Basically, the vibe. When people say the vibe, oh, that's a good vibe, she had a good vibe. That's what it is. Like, your energy that you give off.
Okay, that's good. That's what's up. Okay, so since you was getting into that, I like to ask you. So I like to ask him first. How does frequency affect you as an individual, or the whole world, however you want to put it, positively and negatively? What are the positive effects of frequency, and what are the negative effects of frequency?
So for me, just me personally, frequency is everything to me. Like, these past, I would say 5 years, I've been learning a lot more about frequency and just how to manipulate it and how to, control your energy, control your frequency. And like, if you really think about basically everything in the world revolves around frequency. Like, the way the earth is vibrating, like the earth, I found out that the earth's vibration is the same as like ours. Like, so we might be vibrating, if I don't want to say the exact number because I don't know, but if the earth was vibrating at a 7, we're vibrating at a 7. Like, things like that are just crazy. Like, that you could think that something is shaking at the same frequency as something else. And then another thing is frequencies. For me, I know I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, and that's a big way of getting those things, like tapping into the frequency of the thing you want. Because like, a lot of the times people think that it's just saying what you want and then it's gonna come, but it's actually embracing the feeling of that. When you embracing that feeling, you're basically manipulating that frequency. Like, let's just say, and I don't know the exact numbers, but if being rich was a 700, you had to reach the 700 frequency, and every day you saying, I want to be rich, but your frequency is vibrating at a 300 every day. Every day you saying, you will never be rich. You're not vibrating at that frequency. Then guess what? You vibrating at a 300, you start getting around 700, you start getting around 800. Your energy start rubbing with their energy. You boost up to a 500. You start realizing, okay, that energy felt good. Let me boost mine up to a, and then when you get to that 700 frequency, boom, you match the frequency of being rich. That's the way to, like, or they say the way of tapping into frequency. So for me, I'm real big with frequencies and trying to tap into them, because I feel like that's the way of the law of attraction. And I've been learning about the law of attraction, like I said, these past, I'd say 5 to 7 years. But another thing about frequency that we was talking about before the cameras was, I just learned recently, probably a month ago on TikTok, that our clothes have frequency. So not only our bodies, bro, like these cotton hoodies have frequency and they're vibrating at a frequency and it affects your body in a certain way. So cotton vibrates at 100 frequency, and that's a real number. And then wool and linen, like 100% wool and 100% linen, vibrates at a 5,000 frequency. So when you used to watch, it's crazy. It's not even close, bro. It's like.
So can I ask you a question really quick? So with the clothes vibrating at, because I'm gonna do some research on that too, but with the clothes vibrating at those frequency, what is the, if it's vibrating at a higher frequency, what does that help you if you're vibrating?
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say a little bit on what Foy was saying. And it's not always a negative thing to deal with a negative or a low vibrating frequency, because we all have basically frequencies in our body, and not all of the low vibrating ones are bad frequencies. They can heal different parts of your body or different things about you. So not always the highest is mean it's the most best one and the lowest is the most low one. It's not always that way, but it basically is like a charge, or it's basically like a way of enhancing your body as you sleep, or as you're going through the day, because a lot of the times that you see these people wearing these things, they do it either as they're going to sleep or they're doing it as they go out for the day. So when I used to watch shows, you watch the Cosby Show, you watch Full House, and you used to see them go to bed, the parents used to go to bed in linen, linen clothes and linen, and I used to always wonder why. And they could have just been doing it just because they saw their parents do it or they saw somebody else do it. But in the know of somebody starting it, they knew, okay, this is exactly. So I didn't know that until recently. But yeah, I'm real strong on frequencies and how to try to manipulate.
To piggyback off what he said about the different frequencies, he's right, because your organs, they resonate at different frequencies. Let's say the heart resonates at 528 hertz and the brain resonates at 6 something and the kidneys resonate at something. When you went to church back in the day, the cathedrals were healing centers.
Yes,
so
music too. Oof,
so music. All right, so when you went into a church, you know how the church has those stained glass windows? Those stained glass windows in the past, it wasn't just painted. Each window had a different gem in the window. So you'd have your emeralds, you'd have your rubies, you'd have your sapphires.
Ones.
Yeah. And then when the music came through, it would amplify through the gem. And then the music was playing through the organs. And you would go to church to get healed, because they're healing through the organs that they're playing the music in the church, and everything's inside this acoustic building, and it's vibrating and it's healing your body centers, because each organ, when you hit a different note, heart, A note, heart, B note, ears, C note, kidneys, D note, lungs, and you would go to church and you would leave church and you'd feel great.
It's like these notes were in a way massaging your organs.
Your organs, playing the organs would massage your organs. Real spill. And the thing about spirituality, that people don't like the scientific part, but they go hand in hand. Science is just a way to explain something that is spiritual. Somebody always told me, you can't see the wind, but you know it exists when it rubs against your face. You can't see the oxygen you're breathing, but you're not dead, so you know that something is going in and out your lungs. When you breathe, they expand, and when you exhale, they get smaller, they compress. So something's going on. So the reason why we say frequency, we're telling you different numbers to demonstrate or to show you the relation between this frequency is resonating to the heart. Just how he said, to simplify it, let's say millionaires or rich people, they resonate at a 700 frequency. Well, somebody who doesn't believe in spirituality, they'll understand 700 frequency. They'll be like, oh, so apples resonate at, I'm going to eat apples. This music resonates at, oh, I'm not going to listen to rock anymore. I'm only going to listen to classical music. There's certain things, because not everybody thinks right-brained, which is abstract, which is just colors, which is just, rhythm. Some people think left brain, which is logic, numbers, geometry, squares. It has to be to the point. It has to be rational. But you bring both together, then you have a genius way of thinking.
Can I piggyback off that a little bit?
Go ahead.
I just saw something recently that what you said, when you are around that frequency, or you, you said, oh, I'm left-brained, you're right-brained, now that was this guy, he said that the reason why these rich people, or people, when they get money, they create these masterminds or these big conferences and they get a bunch of people in a room. it's not always to tell or to teach something. It's to get around those like-minded people and put that frequency or all that brain power into one, and you get that drawn to you. Like, instead of just all day you out, you giving content, then you get around all these like-minded people that want to be rich, and then you literally just like how performers, they rapping and they get that energy from the crowd. It's the same thing, bro. But you getting that knowledge, you getting power, you getting feedback, you getting this, bro. That's why I call it masterminds. Like, it creates one mind in there. Like, y'all all boom.
Facts. That's hard. I didn't even think about it like that. Piggyback off that. That's why they have sororities and fraternities, because like what you said in the visualization video, when you have more people putting that energy towards one vision, it just amplifies that vision and it helps it manifest that much quicker. And then so whenever I'm speaking to somebody and they don't rationally get it, you know your subconscious is always recording, it's always ingesting, and it's always processing. So your conscious mind may not at the time get it, but your subconscious has got it. So then later on, like, it may even be like months down the road, you be like, oh, and it may not even be like, oh, I got that, but something that he said makes sense to that, and now it makes sense to that. So it's like, that's why you want to be around certain people or different walks of life, and always absorbing, because it's not what you get like right then and there, but it's what you got, because now it's in your book bag, and later on you might come through that and be like, okay, now it makes sense. It's always a continual like grasp and a continual growing. And another thing I want to say about frequency. All right, so your DNA, it resonates at a certain frequency, and when we talk about like, let's say there's a dot right here, right? And each time you wave past that dot, your DNA rises a level. Well, the more times you hit that dot, the faster your frequency is, the more times you're hitting that potential. And that's why it's good to raise your frequency, because the faster you vibrate, the more clicks you get. Like, let's say if I'm vibrating at, like what he said, a 1, and I'm hitting that dot every 60 seconds, I'm hitting that dot 60 times. But if I'm vibrating at a 10, I'm hitting that same dot 600 times. That's 600 times that DNA node is being touched, and that's more upgrades, that's more growth, that's more amplification. That's why it's good to be out in nature. It's good to hike. It's good to see different things. It's good to be around good music. It's good to eat good foods. It's like you're raising your frequency, because that same DNA node, the more you vibrate across it, the greater the potential it is. That's deep. It's very true as well.
Okay, true. So frequency. So my definition of frequency is definitely gonna coincide with what both of you guys said. As far as frequency is, energy, and frequency is always vibrating. I definitely look at frequency as energy, or your aura, what's around you. So when I'm feeling out a person, or feeling out, their aura, it's in return, I'm feeling out what frequency, what are they radiating at? What are they giving off? Are they giving off good or bad vibes? Or where I'm at, is it giving off good or bad vibes? And when I say vibes, it's a frequency that I'm trying to read. And me, myself, I don't even know how I'm reading. It's really just my body or my soul, or or my frequency level, just interacting with what I'm around. So that's sort of a little definition for it for me. And as far as how does it affect positively and negatively, the reason that I asked for the definition is because that's how you'll kind of weigh how it affects positively or negatively. Because if you don't understand what frequency is, for example, what you're hearing daily, or what you're ingesting. So what you're ingesting isn't always what you're eating. So it's what you're seeing, it's what you're hearing, it's what you're talking about, who you're around, what's being taken into your whole consciousness as a level. I'm not talking about being woke. I'm not talking about staying woke. I'm talking about your actual awareness. Your awareness, your mind. Your mind is a computer. It's a supercomputer. It's literally been proven that it's a supercomputer. So it's what you're intaking, what upgrades are you giving yourself, and they all have frequencies. It all has goods and bads about it. It's a world of balance, positive and negative. So the point that I'm trying to make, and where I'm trying to touch here, is that what you're taking in daily really affects your frequency level. Because what you're taking in could be negative or positive. For example, they touch notes on like, you know, rock and roll, death metal, heavy metal, you know, all that stuff. That's like mosh pit stuff. You know, when I'm listening, when I'm hearing that, what I'm getting is, yeah, I want to pump my head and go crazy, and you know, things like that. Same thing with trap music, stuff like that. But then when I get to that love music or whatever, you know, the R&B or whatever, I'm in a different, my frequency, it's hitting me different. It's making me want to, you know, so where I'm going with this is what you're ingesting. The frequency of what you're ingesting, it all plays a role in how you develop as a person and how your brain upgrades and how your brain develops as a healthy, functional brain, you know? So I think how frequencies affect positively and negatively is obviously some people have negative frequencies that you can, negative auras, negative energy that you can feel when you're around. You just don't want to be around that person because you feel down, you know, it gets you down, or you don't want to go to a certain place because it gets you down. That's the frequency and aura that you're feeling. In return, the same places that you want to go to, the things that you want to do, the people that you want to be around, that's the positive aura. That's your brain, that's your consciousness, that's yourself telling you, yes, feed me more of this so my DNA can be upgraded, so I can evolve.
Thanks. And I'll say one thing to piggyback off that. The more in tune you get, certain things that used to feed you, they might actually do the opposite to you. And certain things that used to like disinterest you, you might be interested now. With the whole right brain, left brain, it's like the left brain is logic, the right brain is abstract. So if we say energy, that's right brain. If we say frequency, that's like left brain. We're saying the same thing, just in different like waves, but it's the same thing. And when he was talking about vibes, it's like when you get around certain people, you can feel their vibe, and that may even attract you to them. But it's a wavelength that y'all hitting. Like we on the same wave, we on the same wave.
And one more thing to say to that, it's just like when somebody finishes your sentence, or if you thought about somebody and they called you like 10 seconds after, or y'all on a basketball court and you just popped your man with the craziest dime and he hit the jimmy like whoosh, and y'all boys dapping on you like, dang, it's deep, like y'all on the same, you're moving on, this is the saying, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. Like, yes, we're on the same frequency, we're on the same. That's when you got any closing statements?
Yeah. To go off on a little bit of what you were saying, there's this, I forgot the name of it, but he basically spoke on your thoughts is basically the fastest thing that can travel in the world.
Facts.
So faster than the speed of light, faster than anything that you could think of, your thought can transfer the quickest. So if I had, let's just say I had somebody in a room that I was trying to transfer a thought to, boom, we stood there, boom, I transferred the thought, it took however long. If you sent that person to the opposite side of the world and you did that same thought, it would take the same amount of seconds that it did when you guys were standing right next to each other. It doesn't take a longer time because they're farther away across the universe. You literally can link thoughts from.
So you kind of saying that space and distance is kind of an illusion.
Irrelevant. It's irrelevant because you could connect with things in the universe. So if you look on this small little dot of, when they do that picture of us zooming all the way out, that small little dot, you can connect things all throughout the universe. You don't think that in this small little dot you could connect somebody across the world? Yes.
Man of original descent, you are the first thought. You are the child of the Most High. You are the child of first thought. So you have a direct connection with the Most High. So don't be afraid to think great things because you have a divine connection. So we talking about the speed of thought. How fast do your thoughts move?
Yeah. And one more thing on the frequency, if you think about the negatives too, the negatives go into like the electronics we got around
Yes,
us.
I was hoping you touched on that. Go ahead.
The Wi-Fi, the planes, all of this stuff that's around us 24/7 is also affecting our frequency negatively. So you have to try to figure out ways to either boost your frequency. One is getting EMF, basically devices to put in your home or put on your smartphones, your laptops, or just basically trying to manipulate your energy at a higher frequency because you know you're being affected by these things every day, and technology
and one more thing, like he's saying, like all the technology, your Wi-Fi that's a frequency.
Yep.
You feel me? That's your Bluetooth controller. That's a frequency. So I'm just here to compare and tell you that, you know, you are better than this technology. You are just as good and even greater than this technology. So you obviously have a frequency. Yes, you have a frequency. Like the things that he's talking about, thoughts, that's real deep. I'm telling you, like, because just to break it down a little bit, like, imagine if I'm on the phone, like I said, somebody finished my sentence. That thought traveled through, like, even if he's in Hawaii, he finished my sentence because the thought still traveled at the speed of light because they knew what I was gonna say or whatever.
At the speed of thought.
At the speed of thought, you feel me? So, yes, man.
Hold on, there's a couple. Hold on. All right, so to what he said, you ever had well, we live in Florida, so we've had hurricanes, and there be days where there's no power, there's no electricity, there's nothing, and there's a kind of lightness in the air because there's no electronics flowing. Like, there's a big difference in the way you feel when there's no, like, electricity, when there's no Wi-Fi, when there's none of that. And we was talking the other day, your thoughts affect the atmosphere, they affect the weather because your thoughts go out, you feel me? So, like, on days when you have holidays and nobody's working, that sense of peace that you feel in the air is because everybody's thoughts aren't clouded, they aren't worrying about anything, everybody's free, everyone's relaxed. And then once that Monday comes where it's working again, there's a whole extra stress that's put on us because our thoughts affect our reality, and they affect our atmosphere, they affect our environment. And one last thing I said, two things. Energy is information. Just keep saying that to yourself. Energy is information. When you watch TV, there's an energetic relay that's coming through. When you're talking to someone, there's energy coming through. If energy is information, then you're constantly being fed information. Now, the way you can read it is different. That's why he said, I don't know how I just feel the person's vibe and, like, I understand what's going on. The way you read is the way you read it, but energy is information. And the last thing I want to say is, with that whole cotton thing, my pastor told me that as Israelites, we're supposed to wear linen. And I didn't know that clothes had a vibration or a frequency, but it makes so much sense.
He told you that
yes. Yes.
Okay, good.
He told me that clothes, that we're supposed to wear linen. Now that I know that linen has a 5,000 vibration versus cotton, I know that these people be lying to us, and I don't think that we're picking cotton just to pick cotton to make clothes. I think they were trying to give us some reverse psychology and make us say that we're not wearing linen anymore because we know how you guys, when you're at a higher vibration, how you guys rock. We already know what you can do. So now everyone's wearing cotton, and we're just gonna keep forcing that cotton. Because think about it, linen's very expensive. If everyone was wearing linen, think about how we would be moving. Think about the elegance, think about the grace, think about the swag that we would have, because it's not just clothes. He just told you that cotton is at 100 frequency. If we want to keep it simple, cotton's at a 1 and linen's at a 10. If we all used to wear linen, as Israelites, that's our natural clothing, that's what we should be wearing, and they stripped us of our linen and they gave us cotton. Now think of what we rocking, and then we picking cotton. Everyone hates cotton now. Well, not really, that's what we wear, but I'm saying, through the stories, you know, cotton this, cotton that, that's why we had to pick. I just want to say that. Close out, how do you like?
A great man once said that you are what you think about all day long. So I think it was Deepak Chakra, maybe. So you are what you think about all day. Whatever your reality is what you thought about 10, 15, however long ago is what you were thinking about. You know, you create your reality. Positive thoughts, man.
Positive thoughts. Energy is information. Moon Talk, Moon TV.
Positive frequencies.
You already know. We signing out.
TV.
Like, subscribe, and comment.